I don't think that those that have gone through West Point expected to have their commander-in-chief address them and start talking about trophy wives or start talking about how he had so many investigations. What a great reminder that you are not qualified to be the person that potentially will command us as troops to go into war. Like, that is not instilling confidence whatsoever. And honestly, our troops deserve better. Our graduates deserve better. We as a country deserve better. And frankly, if we are going to ever be seen as the world leaders that we historically have been, the world deserves better. It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve.
Been various statements and actions by President Trump that some people have perceived as racist. These include comments on immigration policies, remarks about specific ethnic or racial groups, and his responses to events involving racial tensions.
I got the Olympics and the World Cup, and I won't be president. And then I said, you know what I'll do? I'll run again, and I'll shove it up their ass.
I won on two things, the border, and more than immigration. You know, they like to say immigration. I break it down more to the border, but I won on the border, and I won on groceries. It's a very simple word, groceries.
What?
Like almost, you know, who uses the word? I started using the word, the groceries.
I asked that with trepidation. Only because you read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that being a demand that he had necessarily stated publicly. Do you think his position has changed? Or
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. It's tremendously big and tremendously wet. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
The University of Cincinnati's Transgenic Animal and Genome Editing Core specializes in creating genetically modified mice. They use advanced methods like CRISPR-Cas9 and TALEN to produce animals with specific genetic alterations. This core facility provides a variety of services, including cell targeting, vector construction, and embryo transfer.
And we have a president that we don't even know if he's... Where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they
here...
They threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know. Is he our president? But we have a president,
Mr. President,
that doesn't know he's alive.
Your time is...
I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. And he calls me a jackass. He's a jackass. I love the Mexican people. El hombre del pelequin. Referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee.
Millions, as you witnessed, who are scared right now. What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what. A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank. So everybody wants a blizzard. What the hell is a blizzard? A good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome, thin.
Beautiful.
This is a tough hurricane. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing.
You'll notice I was not here over the weekend. I think this is the part that we really need to take personal responsibility for. Saturday, A little low-grade fever.
When I went to the courthouse, which is also a prison, in a sense, they signed me in. And I'll tell you, people were crying, people that work there. For the people of Puerto Rico. We love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. And we also love Puerto Rico. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have a much different, we're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. They like to say I don't read. I read a lot. I comprehend extraordinarily well, probably better than anybody that you've interviewed in a long time. I'm not allowed to say it because it's very impolite and very politically incorrect. A beautiful female interpreter. She was very beautiful. Today, if you say it, they'll say, this is terrible. You're not allowed to say that. The N-word. You have two N-words. You don't mention either one of them. The nuclear word you don't mention. You'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV. So they say, could you repeat that? So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV. Okay, that's very good. China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand. Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear. Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable. Oil exploration and production in the United States. The Biden border will, well, you know this, right? Even Argentina, they went MAGA. You know Argentina, great guy. We will expel the warmongers. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat. Where there's so much water, you don't know what to do with it. It's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, did you see the other day? I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they closed it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. Translator and cryptologic technician.
The word he's trying to pronounce is cryptologic.
Cryptologic Senior Chief Petty Officer Shannon Kent grew up in Pine Plains, New York, before enlisting in the Navy in 2003. And she quickly became one of the rising stars. She was an absolute winner. As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technician.
Nuking a hurricane sounds wild, but it wouldn't work. And it'd be a terrible idea. The energy in a hurricane is way bigger than what a nuclear bomb could disrupt. Plus, detonating a nuke would create radioactive fallout, spreading dangerous contamination across land and sea, depending on where the storm carries it. So instead of stopping the storm, you just make a huge mess. In a report back in 2019. During a briefing, Trump supposedly suggested dropping a nuclear bomb inside a hurricane to stop it from hitting the U.S. The idea caught a lot of attention, but scientists and even the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration quickly shut it down. They said not only would it not work, but it also spread radioactive fallout. It's one of those moments where people weren't sure if he was joking or serious.
He manned the airport. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. We've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal. And it's just been announced that a second brand new coal mine where they're going to take out clean coal, meaning they're taking out coal, they're going to clean it.
Coal cannot truly be cleaned. Even with technology to reduce some pollutants, the coal itself still produces harmful emissions when burned. Clean coal is more of a marketing term than a reality. While there are technologies that can reduce some of the pollutants, like scrubbers for sulfur dioxide or systems to capture some carbon emissions, burning coal still releases a lot of harmful stuff, like carbon dioxide, mercury, and other toxins. So even with those improvements, coal remains a dirty fossil fuel.
F-35s, fighter jets, they're stealth. You can't see them. I said, how good are these? They say, well, sir, the problem is you can't see them when you fight them. I said, that sounds like it's a big advantage.
I said, how does it do it in fights? And how do they do in fights with the F-35? He said, we do very well. You can't see it. You can't see it. They said, well, sir, you can't see it. I said, yeah, but in a fight, a fight like I watch on the movies, a fight, they're fighting. How good is it? Say, well, it wins every time because the enemy cannot see it, even if it's right next.
Stealth fighter jets like the F-22 or F-35 are designed to avoid radar detection by using special shapes and materials that scatter or absorb radar waves, but they're not invisible. If the conditions are right, you can still see them with your eyes.
By water, big water, ocean water, ocean water.
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You told me that one, okay? The thing makes...
The claim that windmill noise causes cancer isn't true. It was something Donald Trump mentioned, but science shows no link between the sound from wind turbines and cancer. People might find the noise annoying sometimes, but it's definitely not harmful in that way.
I like besitos. We have languages coming into our country. We have nobody that even speaks those languages. They're truly foreign languages. Nobody speaks them. Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your call. I have a really good memory.
Your next wife was a woman by the name of Marla Maples.
That's right.
Do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
It's called like Up Here, and it's called Memory, and it's called other things.
So you don't remember saying you have one of the best memories?
I don't remember that.
And Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word. You've heard that, nuclear. We have to win in November, or we're not going to have Pennsylvania. They'll change the name. I talked to Putin a lot.
Did you ask him that?
I don't remember that. I saw that this morning. I don't remember asking him that. A flame comes out of the left and pushes it over like it was nothing. I say, what the hell? And then these two giant arms, they envelop it like a beautiful, I won't say it. I get myself into too much trouble. When I say that stuff, it's so great. I'd like to, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to be politically correct if you don't mind. You know what Elon says? Like two giant chopsticks. See, wouldn't I be better off if I said that? We are the piggy bank that everyone wants, that someday we will continue along the path. It's been an amazing path. It's been a horrible period of time, but almost the last 4 years, we will be, I will tell you that if I get elected, we will be a piggy bank stronger than ever before, but we will be a fool no longer. I have more complaints on grocery. The word grocery, it's sort of simple word, but it sort of means like everything you eat. The stomach is speaking. It always does. It's so simple. This isn't like Elon with his rocket ships that land within 12 inches on the moon where they wanted to land. And they're coming down very slowly, landing on a raft in the middle of the ocean someplace with a circle. Boom.
Reminded me of the Biden circles that he used to have, right? He'd have 8 circles and he couldn't fill them up. But then I heard he beat us with the popular vote. I don't know. I don't. A lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? These students can't add 2 and 2, and they go to Harvard. As a linguist, translator, and cryptologist, Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. A good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
Beautiful.
Latin music superstar Nicky Jam. Do you know Nicky? She's hot. Where's Nicky? Where's Nicky? Thank you, Nicky. Great to be having you here. Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln.
It is time for Republicans to start calling him out and start questioning his mental acuity and whether or not he is equipped to serve mentally. We know when it comes down to his criminality, he is not qualified to serve. Now, because of the failed policies around tariffs, we know that we are looking at losing plants. They said that was going to bring plants. They just announced that we had 2 auto dealers that were going to shut down approximately 40,000 jobs. As they then go after NIH, we know that in the state of Alabama, the largest employer in the state of Alabama is the University of Alabama. They are looking at losing jobs because they won't have research dollars. The only thing that they are doing is hurting us. It is the reason, if we're going to talk about numbers and mandates, it is the reason that the only person in recent modern times to have the lowest approval ratings at their 100-day mark is the same person the first time they were in and now this time. It is time for us to get serious and talk about what will grow our economy, what will bring more money in, what will make sure that people can move up from working poor to middle class and maybe even reach this higher level that so many of y'all listen to, this upper echelon, this rich level, because that is what is supposed to set us apart in this country. We are supposed to live in a country where everyone has an opportunity to go from rags to literally riches. And so I am asking my colleagues to start looking out for the people that elected them. It's so interesting to me that we all swear an oath to the Constitution, and we say that we take that oath seriously. But when it comes into actually doing something that looks like preserving that oath or looks like preserving the Constitution, we get a little wobbly, and I'm not really understanding what's going on. Freedom of press doesn't look like kicking out the Washington Post, or actually the Huffington Post has been kicked out. We know that the Associated Press has been kicked out, and now the Washington Post is not going to allow for op-eds in any way if for some reason they criticize the sitting president of the United States. What this is starting to feel like is a smaller version of Russia. And I am trying to tell you that we are nothing like Russia. We are not supposed to be like Russia. But that is what we've got going on. And I'm sorry, I know that some of my colleagues still struggle with answering the question of who won the election in 2020. And you may have felt a way when you had social media checking people and saying, no, Trump did not win the election in 2020. That is absolutely factual. And unfortunately, because some people got all riled up because they believed the lies, they ended up getting locked up because they decided that they were going to believe the lies. They ended up at the Capitol on January 6th, and they were trying to tear this thing apart because they felt like their country was falling apart in front of their eyes because for whatever reason, there were people in power that were peddling a lie about the election. We also know, and some of y'all may still say it,
say that COVID was a hoax. COVID wasn't a hoax. Tell that to the over 1 million people that died under Donald Trump's first watch. It wasn't a hoax. So no, I do believe that it was okay. In fact, I do believe that it was ethically right for social media to check people, because you had people that didn't know anything about science and decided that they were going to put out whatever lies or propaganda or conspiracy theories they wanted to. And people died. At some point in time, we have to evaluate what is factual. And I know that facts hurt y'all, and I just wish we could get on the same page, but we do know during the presidential election that the president would not go and participate in anything if fact-checking was going to be a part of it, because he didn't want to be fact-checked. We know that the vice president got upset in his vice presidential debate when he was fact-checked. It used to be a time in this country that we as members of Congress or elected officials thought that it was okay to just tell the truth. Instead, we're pushing conspiracy theories, and some of them are killing people. It's the same thing that we have coming out of Doge. It's the reason that people are dying. It's the reason that farmers are losing their farms, because we continue to peddle conspiracy theories. It is time for us to say, Mr. President, guess what? Russia invaded Ukraine. Can we at least agree on that one?